What's up, everybody? This is A Reel and a Beer, our post Mayans MC show that we're going to be doing weekly. I'm telling you, man, after watching that episode, I don't even know what the words is.
It's a long wait. It's been a long wait. It's been 4 years since the Sons of Anarchy filmed its last show. So
what's the word?
It's one of those kind of anticipation. I think that's probably the closest thing. I mean, everybody was it just kind of built. I think it was something after the last show ended. It's something you wanted, but you didn't know what direction they were going to go with. If they were going to go like a prequel, or if they were going to do like a spin-off. And when we finally found out that it was Mayans and it was going to be a spin-off show, you really didn't know what to expect. So
was it trailer number 2, I believe, when it shows them walking away from Jax's grave, or where he died at, when the actual grave.
I think it was.
You know where he passed away at, like that side. I was like, and then that Painted Black, the Mexican version of Painted Black, starts rolling. You're like, okay, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
In this episode, it basically opens up, like anybody who's ever watched Sons of Anarchy knows what the crow means. Even the crow flies straight, the song. The very first episode of Sons of Anarchy was 2 crows on a highway. The very last episode on Sons of Anarchy was crows eating bread with the bloods running over, which is kind of like, basically symbolism of basically Christ,
And that's what the entire Sons of Anarchy show was about. Was a lot of symbolism, a lot of things from
Right, and this one opens up with the crow getting ate by a wild dog, looked like a starved wild dog. And I'm sitting there like the opening scene, I'm like, bam! Immediately, I'm like, what the hell? That's awesome.
Yeah.
You was too. You were like, whoa, okay, what's going on here? This is a little bit different than what we thought, and then it kind of rolls on, and when you going into it, it was going to be this is going to be loosely based around the prospect instead of Jax, who was the heir to the throne, basically. This is around a guy who's a prospect who's basically trying to come up from the ground up, and you find out right fast as his name's Ezekiel Reyes, and you find out during the show, and there's going to be spoilers in here, but that's what this show is about. We're watching it, and you find out later on he's working with the DEA. What do you think about that? I mean, how do you feel about that leading off from the first episode?
Well, for me, you got to think as far as like the entire the Sons of Anarchy motorcycle club community. I mean, it's you'll kill a rat. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's based on is loyalty to the club. And when you start automatically, and the Sons always had twists and turns and questioning the loyalty, and it was people that kind of had their own little side thing going on. But when you kind of see off the jump, I think even with this show, the very first show of Sons didn't take off like this one has.
Oh,
no. It kind of just led you in slow.
Yeah.
This one just dived straight into it.
Yes.
But when you're kind of also you already got a rat in the first show. And it's the main character.
The show
it is a
based
side
on
character.
Right.
This ain't like Juice from the Sons. This is got a guy 6 seasons in, and he's the rat. We got a guy in the show number 1, and he's supposed to be the main character here. So you start thinking, well, what do we got here? What kind of which direction is this show going to go in?
And then I don't know, man. I got so many things I want to say, but we've got to keep this show short and sweet. He's right. You got the show's based around basically a rat. I mean, there's no other way to sugarcoat that. There's no other way to put that. Anybody who's watched Sons of Anarchy, Sopranos, anything, the rats die horrible deaths. But that's not even the biggest twist in it. By far and away, it's not. They have a scene where he's in prison 8 years earlier, and his wife or his girlfriend, we're presuming that they were definitely together. They don't even announce if they were married. I think they were just dating probably. But he's in there and he's basically telling her he's facing 20 years, and then he, she basically drops a bomb on him that she's about to abort his child. And when he does, he flips out, starts punching cops. And guess who is in the room with him? And they're waiting to see other inmates.
The queen herself, Gemma.
And me and Mike both looked at each other and was like, what in the hell, dude? like chill bumps, all that. I was like, okay, they're intertwining this stuff. You know, like I was like, that is amazing because everybody who's watched Sons obviously knows she's dead. So that proves that this obviously, we had our speculations, you know, that obviously this was probably set around right after Jax died. That's proof it's 8 years later, or 8 years before. She's in there in the same room and this dude's flipping out.
Yeah.
And
so there's a lot of flashbacks, kind of takes you, you know, from, you know, pre, you know, Jax and Gemma's death till afterwards. So, you know, it kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of the day. But yeah, like you said, the twists and turns, you know, the girl that he's with, you know, ends up being a big player in how the Glendale cartel, which is something that's huge in this.
Glendale cartels, obviously in this too.
They are, and you know, and they played a lot in the Sons of Anarchy in the first series.
Post deal done that they were working on in the Sun series. Mm-hmm. So the deal's done and they are in control now. And they're back across this side of the line of the law. Yeah. They're not like working with the law enforcement at this point. No, this is like the true Glendale cartel. Yeah. And what Mike said, the biggest twist, I'll let Mike explain the twist in the show, the girl who was sitting in the room with Ezekiel. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you know, there, of course, you know, you find out that with flashbacks that, you know, they were obviously in a relationship, like Bo said. And then you get to see that, you know, even though they're in this relationship, they split up somehow in this time period while he's in jail. And she ends up being with the crime boss of the Glendale cartel, which is obviously, I think, the son of the one who made the deal with the Sons of Anarchy years ago. So obviously he's taken over the mantle from what we gathered so far. And now he's obviously with the Prospect's former girlfriend. and they have a child together. So obviously it gets even deeper. So you really don't know, you know, obviously there's going to be some turmoil with how this is going to play out, you know, between the Prospect and how the you know, the Glendale cartel boss is going to be.
And then there's a scene, straight up, I mean, like, I don't even know any other way to put this. There's a scene straight up where he's actually admitting he is working with the DEA. Yeah. And he's saying, hey, you know, I don't know how this is going to go. And, you know, the guy says, when I tell you to jump, he says, fuck you. He cuts him off. He's basically telling you, when I tell you to jump, how high, the Prospect basically cuts him off, Ezekiel cuts him off and says, fuck you. Yeah. You know, basically saying, I'm not doing no more fucking tricks. I'm not a circus animal for you no more.
Because he wants to buy his life back. Right. You know? So obviously there's been a huge deal made. You know, and then you kind of, you know, as the show goes on, you're thinking, so obviously there's a huge deal made, but it's almost even split the MC up. You know, you've got the Mayans, which, you know, you've also got Alvarez, which we've all, you know.
God, they're portraying him awesome.
Yes, and
they call him the Godfather.
Yeah, he's the Godfather of their entire club. And
he's even kicking knowledge when they had a table scene and they were having some conflict going on. And I don't want to spoil that. You need to watch it, but he actually just like kind of like they were like bickering back and forth, and he kicks straight knowledge and just shuts it all down. You're like, thank you for portraying Marcus Alvarez like you should.
Yeah, exactly. And
you could tell his leadership. You could tell his leadership was there, and I was like, thank you. You get that because I can even tell Mike like the first 40 minutes with both looking at each other, and it's like, you know, it's got. And I knew like, and a lot of people won't get this reference, but if you listen to the band Tool, a lot of people like Tool. It's my favorite band ever. Several other people's favorite band ever. Well, their lead singer had to spin off with a band called A Perfect Circle. And then, like, the Tool fans were, like, kind of, they want to tiptoe into it because they're not Tool and they want to judge it. Well, you can't judge them as Tool. They're not Tool. They have their own entity, but they still got that core value. Mm-hmm. Same thing as this. It's a core value, but it's different than Sons. Totally different vibe. Mm-hmm. And it took me and this motherfucker, 40 minutes to get to where we were like, okay, here we go.
It's a little bit of a twist.
It was a 2 hour season premiere?
Maybe, I think it's like a 2 hour, 1.5 hour. You know, it's normally like how like the season finales are a lot of times.
Yeah, we were like, it was 2 hours. I think it was 2 hours. And we were sitting there and we were both like looking at each other like, okay. It took us about 45 minutes though before we got traction.
And the thing is with this one, you know, it's got the same feel, you know, it's got the same grit that Sons of Anarchy has always had. So you're like, you know,
same gruesome.
Yeah,
shit.
I mean gruesome. You know, the way they knock people off, they're killing people, chopping
They're chopping body parts off.
So you know, it's got that feel. But then you know, you're like, oh, I don't know, you know, because I think the thing is with this show, you keep it close to your heart. You know, Sons of Anarchy, you kept it close to you, and you don't want to let go of what the memories were of that show. But then you got to realize that it's a different twist. This is completely different. So you have to give it its chance. And as you get into the show, you know, like I said, it didn't drag it out like the first Sons show. Mm-hmm. So you about halfway through, you start going, hold on a minute, this wasn't like the Sons premiere. This is a lot grittier. It's just taking off and running with it. But it does have its moments of, like you said, you got a guy that's a rat in the club, and the rat always dies a horrible death, and that's the one you normally hate. This is your main character. So it kind of.
I don't get that feeling. I hate this guy either.
No, you know, because mainly also he's going against the Glendale cartel, which is what we all started to hate as the show went on before.
Let me throw this in here. Clayton, who's also kind of the boss. Is Clayton? Is that the guy's name that was the boss of the cartel, or he was the? What's his name? The guy's name is head of the branch of.
Yeah, I think they're San Pedro or whatever.
Yes, that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, that guy. We're not sure of his name. I think it may be Clayton. Is it Clayton or no?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, that guy, not digging him at all. He feels like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because at that point when they got questioned, he turned around and just straight, called out the prospect like in front of people, and I was like, that guy feels like he feels like a rat.
Yeah.
Prospect feels like he's
doing it for an honorable reason.
Yeah.
He's wanting to get out because I think he got caught.
This guy feels like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
I'm not digging him at all.
Yeah, and you start thinking like, and like the small players in it, like the vice president, a lot of these small players in this right now seem like they're the honorable ones. They're the ones that's kind of like the Piney and things from previous seasons.
Opie, so many greats.
Yeah. So I mean, you got all these guys that were just honored to the club, and then now you've got this entire MC that's split. And it didn't take till like 5 or 6 seasons with Sons before you really started seeing a split in the club. Yeah. And so now we know that there's a lot of big players in this that we still got to learn a lot more about. But you kind of see there's already a divide. So that's a huge one in this show. But there's some big things in this. There's a lot of players that's like you've got Gemma that has their cameo in this. You've got
there's no telling what we're gonna
but
see.
I mean, my gosh, like we've got to throw this out here, and it's not even so much of a spoiler. But if you haven't seen it, the best cameo of the whole entire thing is when you're seeing that Sons of Anarchy jacket driving inside that cemetery.
Yeah, they basically pinned that. The Mayans go on a protection run that goes bad. So they're basically accountable for $2.4 million that they got to recover. There was a tattoo seen on one guy's hand that identified the people who stole this money. So what Mike's referring to is at that point, they go and pin down these people who are responsible for taking this $2.4 million on this protection run that went bad. So during that time, the people that they went to confront is getting away. They've got guns and blasting and, guns and stuff going on everywhere. They're about to get away, and all of a sudden, the damn camera pans. You just hear motorcycles rumbling, and it comes in from the backside. The camera comes in from the backside of them, and all you see is Sons of Anarchy. And there's probably, 12 of them, 15 of them, and they're rolling up in the cemetery, which is where they confronted these people.
Oh, it's game on. When
you knew that. You was like, yes, please, God, let this song be some of the original. Unfortunately, for the fans, it wasn't none of the originals. It was some new characters, which could be good.
Just the president was the only thing we've really seen.
Yeah,
previously in the past.
And they rolled up in there, and I was like, oh wow, dude, that was mind blowing. But we're not going to make this video run any longer than this. Shock value, it's there. Mm-hmm. It does take, to me, 30-40 minutes to get some traction, to get going. Once it gets going, it captures you, but it does like Sons of Anarchy did. It leaves you wanting to go to next Tuesday. Mm-hmm. Does it have that bite? The original Sons of Anarchy didn't have anything to play off of, so everything was alive.
Yeah.
Now we have a whole season and a whole genre of Sons of Anarchy to compare this to, which is what people's going to be doing the whole time. Oh, I'm in season 6, and that's not as gruesome. No,
it's not as good. It's not as good. Yeah, it's just a whole different.
Give this its own chance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with the Perfect Circle as a tool. It's a good, great reference because give it its own chances. You got the core value. Kurt Schutter's not going to let you down. I promise you. Give the man his time. He's going to make it happen.
Yeah, I know we kind of jumbled around a little bit on this one because we got to go from different
jumbled us around.
Yes, it is, and that's the thing is, in this first show, you're just trying to get a grasp of what the hell we're watching here, where we're at, what time period we're in. The flashbacks kind of also make it a little bit more difficult, but you got everything from what the Suns always brought. You got the grit, you got you got the entire lifestyle of the club. And you've also got this twist with what the Mayans lived during the time frame that the Sons of Anarchy were ruling. So you've got a lot of different things here. You've got the Glendo cartels, which gets the exact same thing what the Sons did, and so it gives you the entire universe that we've actually dealt with from the past seasons. So it's definitely entertaining. I think that we've got
definitely watchable.
We've definitely got the same experience that we did with the Suns. We just got to get in with it and
got to agree with it.
Yeah, you just got to get in there and give us a shot.
A different acquired taste, but I promise you're going to get it if you watch this. Anyways, this is a reel and a beer. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the bell for the notifications beside it anytime we upload new videos. Mike King and Bo the Boss, we're out.